Right, so men's shed, Lockerbie, men's shed, Lochmaben. We are about 3 years in now. We started off just having small meetups in the lounge of a couple of local hotels. Come in, have a cup of coffee, have a chat. Now, a couple of guys would come along, but nobody really stuck. One of the things I hadn't realised at the time was, of course, not everybody wants to go to the pub. Some of them might have been getting a wee bit of friction at home along the lines of, where are you off to? I'm away off down the Crown. Aye, I'll bet you are. You can just get out and do this job or that job. So that wasn't happening. Anyway, we had a public meeting. We called that way in one of the local hotels, and a good few folk come along to it. A few folks signed up at that point to say that they were interested in the men's shed. We still didn't have a venue, but in the new year, we got the use of a small, a community porta cabin in Lochmaben, which was great, apart from we couldn't really do anything craft-wise, practical-wise, for fear of leaving sawdust or paint or gosh knows what in the pensioner sandwiches. So that left us looking for a permanent home. We spoke to the local council. They identified 2 or 3 buildings, none of which were ideally suited to what we wanted. And by luck, along came one of the local businessmen, and he allowed us to use a porta cabin on his site, which was otherwise just going to rack and ruin. Needed a wee bit of work to get it up to scratch, bit of cladding put in the outside, things like that. But we had 2 big rooms, a toilet, and it was our own space. We could come and go as we wanted, which is important. We set up there, and we've been in there just over 2 years now. It became apparent after about a year we really needed more space because more than 3 or 4 people trying to use the workshop. It was a bit too much elbows in the ear. You were just bumping into folk and you couldn't handle any big pieces of material. It wasn't a safe environment to use, and so as I say, that kind of put the dampers on that a wee bit. Although the workshop still gets used, just 1 or 2 guys at a time. The bulk of what happens actually is folk popping in for a coffee and a chat. The social aspect of the shed is massively important. Sometimes it's the only contact people have got during the week. Sometimes there's a wee break from other chores. We've got carers that come in and it is a break from what they're doing. We've got people who have health problems, and again, they don't get out as much as they'd like. We've got people who live alone and it's a bit of company. And then there's a few of us that just like the banter and like having a cup of coffee and, seeing what's happening in the world and taking it from there. So that's where we are at the moment. We are currently looking at taking on premises in Lockerbie. It's a former council garage, which will need some work done to it. But again, it's work that the men themselves can do. Getting some studs on the wall, getting some insulating in, getting gyprock or some, cladding, plasterboard on the walls so that we can make use of the place. We'll do that ourselves. We'll deal with the floor, which needs a lot of work, either re-screeding it ourselves or we'll build a timber floor on the concrete base. It's not something that needs to be done in the first couple of days we're in. It's something that we can do ourselves over a period of time. First and most important thing is getting the water supply sorted out, getting the sewage sorted out, sorting out our power, and then getting a room built or an area prepared that the guys can use as a social area, and that we can start using to maybe, as a bit of a workshop as well. But that'll get there in time. There's a yard outside. It's probably 30 foot by 30 foot. It's a good size. We'll need to keep access to the shed through it, but it would be possible to put some raised beds in, something like an incredible edible garden or a sensory garden, just getting those in, a seating area, uh, something, actually an outside working area would be good as well, because sometimes you do, if the weather's good, you can go outside and do a wee bit of work, or alternative, you're doing something like a wee bit of, spray painting or something. It's nice to have somewhere you're not going to fumigate everybody, so we can do that. There'll probably be a fence and a gate arrangement, but it would be nice to make that garden available to some of the older residents in the houses surrounding the shed, and again that will also become a bit of sort of community outreach, because they're going to, we can establish a good relationship with our neighbours. They're going to say, oh, those blokes at the shed, they're nice, they're good, they're helpful, and that will encourage other people to come along. There might be jobs that we can do for them, be simple things like cutting the grass or cutting the hedges, or maybe doing wee small repairs. That will grow and develop over time as well. I'd like to see us being able to expand the services we offer, rather than just being a men's shed for older men over 55, is to get some of the younger generation involved. Locally, we've got a big issue with isolation for young guys. Sometimes, well, there's just like the older blokes, there's younger guys stuck on their own, and it would be useful. We've also got quite a lot of former service folk, male and female, who could benefit from having some kind of environment. And we've also spoken to a couple of local women's groups and other groups who would be interested in coming along with some kind of, how-to type sessions, how to use power tools, or how to make a simple box. And those are things that once we've got them established, we can then build on those. You take that box making and you make the box a bit bigger. It's a sort of set of shelves. You put a door on it, it's a cupboard. You make two of them, pair of bedside cabinets. Suddenly you're making furniture, and it all just started off for making a box. But they've learned the skills all the way along, and those will be done on a charged on a per session basis, or per course basis. It'll be good. Ooh, there's the Twitter. There's the Twitter. Well, that'll do for the next one. Let's see how we've done.